Welcome to the podcast. This is your host, Mr. Ish. We're here at Kips Bay Boys and Girls Club, Cordere Clubhouse, like always. We got some gentlemen today. They got a lot on their mind. We're gonna call this the cadet edition. It's all the cadet young men over here. You know, they want to talk about what's going on in their lives. So from my left to my right, please everyone introduce themselves. You first.
Hello, everybody. My name is Derek. I'm 9 years old, and I am officially in the Girls and Boys.
What are you doing?
In the Girls, Boys and Girls Club. Yeah.
Okay, well, it's not the Boys and Girls Club. It's Kips Bay Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah. Yes, Kips Bay Boys.
Okay, who's next?
I go by the name Devin, a.k.a. Cinnamon Pop-Tart, and I'm 9 years old.
Okay, what else? He got a lot of AKs.
Yeah,
I wasn't ready.
A.k.a. Cinnamon Toast Crunch, you already know.
What else?
Yeah, we're here to get lit.
Okay.
You know,
well,
gonna boost up.
Ooh, all right. I gotta explain to you these guys' slang for those that are listening, and you're from Wisconsin or from Alaska or from Georgia or something that you don't know the Bronx slang. We gotta put you up on that. And last but not least, your name, sir?
Do you know I got an AKA like that, right?
I don't know if you have AKAs, but just please give me your name.
Have an AKA, I don't think.
Give me your name. What's your name?
My name's Aiden, and I'm 7 years old, AKA the Ghostbuster.
Ooh, he shut you down, AKA Cinnamon Pop-Tarts. He shut you with the Ghostbuster. He shot you with the Ghostbuster. Okay. Now that we got all of y'all on your AKAs, well, I got an AKA too. My name is Mr. Ish, AKA, wait for it, the podcaster.
Good one.
Ooh, I went mean on you, the podcaster. I'm going to have to do
I got an AKA for you.
That's
What's
fire.
my AKA?
Mr.
What's my AKA? Turn that off, I can hear you.
Sorry.
Mr. Ish,
Go ahead.
AKA Teddy Bear.
Ooh. I don't know about that.
I got an AKA for you.
Maybe my wife calls me that. What's my AKA? Who's this, Derek? All right, Derek.
Mr. Ish, aka Mr. Savage.
Mr. I got one.
Savage. Hold up. There's an AKA program right now.
Mr. Ish, a.k.a. the boss of Kids Bay.
Ooh.
No, I don't like that one. 'Cause my boss.
Okay.
My boss is probably listening, and he's gonna tell me to go to his office and talk to me about that. So I am not the boss of anything. I help here and I work here. So the boss here is Mr. Dan Quintero. He's the executive director.
Who, Daryl?
No,
Shout out
Mr.
to you.
Mr. Dan. He's the boss.
Oh, Daryl.
The boss in the building right now. We have a co-directors, and that's Mr. Daryl and Miss Francesca. Shout outs to them. They still don't want to do a podcast, but eventually I'll get them up here. They're too busy. They're running a building. They're running a program. It's kind of hard for me to get them, but I will. I'll come in early one day.
Oh, shout out to Joshua too. Shout out to my boy Joshua.
Okay,
He's
we're getting ready by shout outs. Let's talk about something.
I know.
Let's talk about something. Oh,
Black
he got one
History
more AKA.
Month.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, let's do that too. Go ahead. AKA for who's this?
You,
Okay, AKA.
Mr. Ish, aka Mr. SpongeBob.
I do
that was pretty.
I do like SpongeBob. I ain't gonna lie to you. My daughters like SpongeBob.
I love SpongeBob, bro.
So let's talk about Black History.
Derek's like my SpongeBob to my Patrick.
All right. Oh, okay. All right. Let's do the discussion. I mean, you're bringing it up. Let's talk about Black History Month.
What?
I know that people always complain that it's a short month, which is true. This year is 29 days, but Black History Month is very, very important. Hopefully, you guys could come to the table. Let's see what we could talk about.
All right.
We could talk about Rosa Parks.
Ooh,
Segregation.
Trump Shorty.
Segregation.
Luther King. Martin Luther
We
King.
could talk about Martin Luther King. We could talk about
Shorty.
Slavery.
Rosa Parks.
Trump Shorty.
What?
Trump Shorty.
I don't know who that is.
Slavery.
Yeah, he's like migration. He was like a guy.
What? This kid's
All right, guys, let's not talk out of tune because I want to listen to what he says. Go ahead.
He's an African American that met a super famous star, and he used his trombone, and then people started giving him a nickname called Trombone Shorty, and then but his real name is Troy Andrews, and then he he has a trombone that he plays, and people really like the trombone, so they thought he was a celebrity.
Okay, well, I ain't gonna lie nothing. You gave me a lot of information. I'll give you a little clap that because he came with information. He came with details and information. That's all new to me. So also understand that. Look, I'm older than you guys, and I'm still learning. I just learned that. I never heard about that in my life. So so we all learned something together. That's cool. Derek, you have something you want to talk about? Something you want to talk about in
I could talk about
Black History Month?
slavery.
Yeah, so Black History Month is a month of people that that sacrifice things for the life of America. For example, Martin Luther King, he was an African American, and in his time when he was born, there was racism. And racism is basically when any type of person, any skin color would
Judge.
would judge the other person for their skin color. But nowadays, thanks to God and thank you to America, we don't have racism anymore.
No. We do have racism. It's not as bad as it was in the 60s.
Yeah, in the 60s, it was really bad because it was a law called segregation. It wasn't like people were segregated. It was a law.
Yeah, it's not like people. It's not like people did it on their own.
Yeah.
You couldn't go to the bathroom if you were colored. You couldn't go to the same bathroom as a white person. If you wanted to drink water, you couldn't drink water from the same water fountain. You couldn't go to the same schools. God forbid dating somebody that's not of your race. That was like really uncalled for.
Yeah,
And then people like you was talking about on the bus. Like when you got on the bus, you had to ride the back of the bus. You couldn't go to the front of the bus.
Oh yeah.
So that's all, part of it. And I'm glad that you guys have, some knowledge of Black History
And
Month.
too, I got one story. There was a little boy. He was black. He was African American. So he whistled at a woman, and then the white woman told a gang and a group like if you don't know what a gang is, a group of people, and they took him to the woods and they killed him there.
Ooh.
And then like several years later, they took, because the police didn't care about it at that time. Then the police arrested one of the men that did it, and now he's in jail.
That's crazy.
He was 94.
Those times is, and we deal with racism, now. Sometimes it's a little more covered up, sometimes a little bit behind the scenes, but we still deal with it. And it's sad that people are still judging. And we all here. I mean, we're not white here.
Yeah.
I'm Spanish. You look Spanish. He's a little darker, but he's Spanish also. So we all brown skin technically, and they judge us too. And people judge us, and it's not right to judge people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the things in the Boys and Girls Club. We try to make sure that we give everybody equal rights, and everybody looks different, but we respect everybody once you walk in these doors.
There's another thing.
So that's
the Kids Boy and
that's
Girls
one of the
Club.
things. I mean, I don't really
Our ancestors.
I'm so glad that I'm gonna give you a clap up because I'm so glad that you guys are coming with facts. You're coming with
I know
information.
But thank you
Yeah,
to Martin
know
Luther
stuff.
King and Rosa Parks. They were one of the people that fought.
They were
for-
pioneers. Yes.
Yeah, and
they
also-
fought for civil rights. So thank you to
They
them.
were a part of the civil rights movement.
Yep. And and even though we think that all the civil rights and all that stuff was taken care of, we could still do more. Whenever we see somebody picking on somebody, and if they picking on them because of the color of their skin or anything like that, we have to stand up for them. We have to stand up for people, and there's nothing wrong with that. You be like, hey, come on, man, leave him alone. He ain't doing nothing to you.
Because they don't deserve to be bullied
Because
like that.
because
I
one
really
day
don't respect that. I don't
one day that
respect
could be
nothing.
you, one day that could be your mom, one day that could be your grandpa, one day that could be your auntie. So it's nothing wrong with saying, hey, come on, leave that person alone.
I
Don't judge them.
respect that
Don't
stuff.
judge them because of their skin color or anything like that. Or sometimes people now get
fight.
picked or stuff like that just because of languages. Like there's some people that come and they don't speak English, and people are basic kind of racist to them because they're not speaking the language of the
Say,
land.
like, people say like go back to your country.
Yeah, go
and
back
stuff.
to your country, you know.
example,
And that could be
some-
anybody. That could be Spanish, Indian. That could be, you know, Jamaican.
That can
could
even
I
be
got another
English.
story. I got
That can
another
be
story.
even be English.
I got another story.
What's going on?
There was a I forget. It was a boy, right? He was
He was what?
he was
Can I say a story?
Yeah, well, you have to talk to the mic. Don't
Alright.
remember
He
we
was
don't we
going-
can't
he-
we can't have gaps in between because then people are listening to empty space.
Anthony in our kids bay,
Okay,
right? He's
Which
my
Anthony?
He's
There's
my
two.
friend.
it doesn't matter. The name doesn't matter. Just tell us the story.
Anthony, my friend, he goes to PS204, right? So what happened was he came here and he spoke Spanish, like pure
Only
Spanish.
Spanish.
Did not know nothing. I said something to him English, he did not understand nothing I said. So what happened was while the months were going passing, I was teaching him English.
A little bit of English.
A little
That's
bit
nice
of English,
of
cause I was in his table in second grade. He came here in second grade, PS204. So I was saying, other people they were always saying, oh, you speak Spanish, I don't know what you're saying, kid. And I'll be like, what if he speaks Spanish? You speak English. He doesn't understand you.
Yeah,
He
okay.
can say that to you right now.
you. All he needs is a line or someone like you that could help him a little bit
Yeah.
with English and learn a couple of words. And I'm pretty sure you guys are close now just because of you being out there and
Yeah.
and getting out of your box, your comfort box, and helping him out a little bit.
I got a story too.
Go ahead, talk.
Once when I was in my school, there was a kid that didn't speak English. So I actually no today that my grandpa and my grandma and my uncle they
were
didn't
helping
know
him?
English. So then
soldier.
I had to show them English. So I just showed them math and English so then they could know English. So
That's
I
important.
try to help them with English tomorrow and today. And I try to do that really a lot of times so then they could know English as fast as they could. Because if they don't know English, then
They can't do things.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
if
hard.
someone is willing, you know, like you, I mean, it sounds funny that you're a young child, you know. How old are you? 9, you said?
7.
You're 7. Look at that. You're 7 years old and you're teaching an adult how to speak English. But, you know, because you're 7, maybe you're starting them off slowly and it's easier for them to learn from you. Some people get intimidated trying to learn from an adult because they be like, oh, that adult's going to make fun of me. But you're not trying to make fun of them. You're actually trying to elevate them and you're trying to make sure that they do better. And because they're your family and you look up to them, you really want to be helpful. So that's awesome, man. That's great.
Respect to you, bro. Respect.
Thanks.
What's up, Derek? You got another story for us? This
Yeah.
Black History Month is serious,
Yeah.
man.
Black History Month, bro. Respect to Black History Month. If you don't respect that, bro, I don't know what to say to you, but please respect this month. It is a very good month.
Yeah, and we could learn a lot about different cultures just by, you know, listening to each other's stories, by listening to what's happening in our lives, what happens around us. Like Cinnamon Pop Tart, he was just telling us a story about his friend. So this is stuff that's actually happened. I mean, we weren't there during, you know, the segregation and other bad things that happened in the 60s, but there's things now that we could fix, so we could try to help fix. And even though you guys are young, there's always a way to help or teach somebody the right way. And that's kind of cool that you guys are taking that route.
Can I say a story?
You want a story? Go ahead,
Yeah.
tell me.
All right. So one day, I didn't remember. It was in 2019. I was on YouTube and I was scrolling and I was trying to learn about Black History Month. And then I saw this video. Shout outs to Darman. That's his channel. And I saw one of his videos and it said, white policeman arrests Mexican because he thinks that the Mexican did something. Now, when I watched the video, it was another American. He stole from the policeman's daughter. He stole from the policeman's daughter, and the Mexican was close by, and then the Mexican saw it, and he was trying to help the daughter of the policeman.
Okay.
But then, when the other American guy ran away, he ran away with the purse and everything he stole from the daughter of the policeman.
And the daughter didn't say that it was that it wasn't him.
No, because she was like talking on the phone, and then the other American guy closed their eyes, and then he took the bag.
So she didn't know either.
No, she didn't know who it was. But then the police station was close by, and her dad happened to be there, and he heard her screaming for help. So he just kept running. He started sprinting to his daughter, and when he saw his daughter, he saw her crying, and then she was like, she pointed at the Mexican, but she didn't actually know if it was a Mexican or not.
Okay, so she pointed at the wrong guy, and they arrested the wrong guy when he was trying to be helpful. I mean, I'm gonna tell you that there's gonna be a million stories like that, man. Yeah. There's gonna be a million stories. It's kind of hard. It's sometimes people, if you're walking down the sidewalk and you see African American guy coming, some people walk to the other side of the street, or they hold their pocketbook a different way, just because some people rob people, and that's kind of sad. I mean, we shouldn't live in a world like that. But it is the reality that we live in, and we all got to be mindful that we all have
our own culture.
We all have our own cultures. We all have our own rights. We all should
be nice to each other.
Be nice to each other.
Not make fun of, because no one deserves to make fun of. Because, for example, I could be new to this place, or I could be new to my school, and I'm only like a Spanish kid, right? Like cinnamon Pop-Tart set, and I only know a little bit of Spanish. I mean English. People couldn't make fun of me, but like I could be, and like I would know, like I understand English, but I don't know how to talk it. Like I would understand what they would be saying.
What they were saying.
Yeah, they would be like, "Yo, I don't want that kid close to me. He's a Spanish kid. I don't like Spanish kids."
I mean,
and I would understand that. I would be
hard.
like, "Oh, okay," and I would just move to another table because I didn't want to hear all of that. So, and then one of my friends, it was Christian. He was Mexican, and he knew English, so he taught me a little bit of English, and then he taught me more and more.
And look at that! Now you speaking English.
Shout out
well.
to Kristen.
Now you're speaking pretty well. I mean, I appreciate you guys with your honesty and your stories, and definitely
Anytime.
the information that you guys came up with Black History Month. I mean, it's not only a month; it should be like just Black History. We should learn not only from African American, we should learn from all types of cultures:
And
Japanese, Indian, Spanish.
I would love to learn
every
Japanese.
type of culture. I mean, you'll be fascinated how some things are very rare, some things are not familiar, but some things are very special to them and to different cultures. So that's kind of dope.
I had
We gotta wind it down a little bit because today's a kind of a short day. So I thank you very much. Thank Cinnamon Pop-Tarts. He had to leave, but we're gonna be out of here. Do you want to say goodbye to anybody?
Yeah. Goodbye, everybody. It's Derek, aka Mr. Savage Jr.
Ooh, he gave Mr. Savage Jr.
Adios.
Okay, what about you?
I'm gonna shout out. What I'm gonna shout at is I'm gonna shout out to my mom,
Ooh, that's a nice
who
one.
speaks English and Spanish.
Nice.
Shout out to my uncle who only speaks Spanish.
And you're helping us speak English.
Yeah, and
Beautiful.
also shout out to Mr. Iris for making us show this podcast, so then we could tell people how you can improve in this world for
Ooh.
Black History Month.
Ooh, that's beautiful. I may have to slip that in. I want to give a shout out to all the different states, countries that are listening to the podcast. It's very important. I do see you guys. If you leave feedback in our comments file on Apple or whatever, I'll definitely get back to you. Shout outs to my friends or my new friends in Alaska at the Boys and Girls Club over there. And we're out of here, guys.
Adios. Adios.
check. 1 2 1 2 check.
Daddy Did Podcast.